Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah. Go talk about me if you want. Let's
Want
go.
to talk about what a great guy Paul Michael is?
Yeah, why don't you go on the internet and talk about me like other people like to do? You.
I forget you can still hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you no matter where I am. Don't you
Right,
worry.
story of my life. All right, I'll
Yeah,
leave and
so
let you do your call.
no. So do you have anything you want to talk about? What was the thing
Ye
you wanted me to make sure that just some house cleaning things we like to do at the beginning of our calls. I don't know if I'm going to have James on here today. He's working on making sure you guys get paid and we have no issues with that. So they're trying to make sure everything's automated correctly. But the one thing you were telling me, Lisa, is if people want to go in and change their information, they need to have updated everything, correct?
Right, yeah, just
But they
we're
need to come
making
to support for right now.
right, if they could please take a moment and confirm that their car information is accurate in their profile, because I know people get new cars, it's been a year, they could have updated their car or whatever. We just need the most current information so that
First of all, it
when
hasn't been a year. It only feels like 10.
oh,
We didn't start doing anything until March 1st. So don't be giving us too much. I don't
I
want people
got
going,
you.
oh my gosh, I've been around a year.
Sorry.
It's all
But
right.
if they've changed their car, we need that most current information in their profile so that the riders know who they're looking for.
Yes. And right now, listen, that's good that you bring that up. Anything else? And then I'll let you jump off, or you can just
Um,
do whatever you want to do.
nope, I think that's all I
All right,
have.
cool. So
Okay.
that's one of the things, one of the great things about me actually being able to be out in Vegas. I was in a Revo car 4 or 5 times with different drivers, and it was awesome. Like I was so invigorated, so excited, so ready to really take on and scale this thing this year. It's funny because if I have so many people that come to us that are drivers and things of that nature, and they're like, well, I don't know why we're not further ahead. I don't know why we're not here. I don't know why we're not doing this. And I had a long talk with one of our great leaders out in Vegas yesterday as I was getting on the plane for probably about an hour with Adonis. And he's like, sometimes I get frustrated because people just don't do it like I do it, or they don't see it like I do it. And I said, well, they're never going to. Like I used to, when I learned a long time ago, like so I have a saying that says, some people, some will, some won't. So what? Next. And I hate to say it like that, but a lot of times we're going to get frustrated because maybe we're really motivated. Maybe we're really excited. Maybe we're doing all the things we're supposed to do. And then we go to recruit someone and they don't. Well, that's okay. Because I promise you, nobody has the level of commitment that I've had in this company so far. I mean, I put millions of dollars. I spend 24 hours a day, 7 days a week building this thing to, sometimes have people go on and trash me on the internet. I have people that try to do it in person. I have people that want to blame me for everything, and it's okay. Like, I got big shoulders. I can take it. I look at these problems that I have to deal with on a daily basis, and I'm like, it's nothing compared to what some people have to deal with. Like, I know people that, would die to come to this country, would do anything in their, like Pedro that works with us. He's one of my best friends. He came to this country as a student, had a student visa, went through all the stuff he had to go through. I mean, I make fun of him and give him jokes and those type of things, but I look at the people that would love to be in this country, and we have people here that don't even take advantage of the opportunities that they have on a daily basis. So, like, being out in Vegas was amazing. I got in a car with one of the gentlemen, and I see some of the issues that go on. Like, I called James and I said, I don't understand why we can't see the information for what color of the car it is, what make of the car is. All you see is the license plate. I said, I love that you give me credit that I can read a little bit, but I'm going to have to look at every license plate of every car that comes anywhere near me just to find the driver. I had a driver yesterday morning from Revo that took me to the airport, and this was like one of his first rides. And the great thing about it was I really got to see what's going on in the field. And I'm telling you, over the next 90 days, the amount of training that we are going to institute, the amount of information that we're going to put out there, the amount of me getting on calls and doing one on ones and teaching people is going to be light years ahead of where we're at right now because it's time to do that. And I think a lot of the problem that people fall into is if you're not a professional recruiter, if you're not somebody that knows how to go get people and train them and teach them and work with them, a lot of what people are doing is they're going, here, fill out my QR code. Here, use my QR code. Sign up underneath me. I want to get as many people as I can possibly get underneath me, and then I'm going to get wealthy because they're going to do rides or they're going to be customers and do rides, and I make 3% off of it. But and it's like, okay, great. Like, you're not going to get wealthy that way. And so, but it's not your fault. You don't understand how this all works. I was in a car and I love talking to this guy. He took me on 2 rides the other day. I had to go out to my friend Jay's house, met with some people that most of you would love for me to know who I met with, but I'm not telling you. But you'll find out in due time because it's going to be big for our company this year. But I was with this gentleman and I said, listen, tell me a little bit about how you got involved, what you know about the company. And he said, I was in a parking lot. Somebody signed me up. I don't really even know who they are. And I said, you haven't heard from them since? And he said, no, I just was excited and I saw the app. And I said, well, listen, I apologize, first of all, that you didn't get better trained. I said, but let me kind of explain to you how this works. I was in the car for him for 15 minutes. And I know what happens with a lot of people is they're like, oh, I'm busy. I don't have time to do that. I'm da 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 da. And I said, listen, like, nobody's too busy. I'm not too busy. You don't think I was in the car with that driver and I could have done 5 phone calls? But being with that driver, he was an amazing guy. Like, we had a great rapport, great relationship talking in the car. And I started explaining to him the reasons why we're different than these other companies. And if all you're doing is going and trying to get people to sign up as a customer and trying to get sign up as a driver, and you're not building any kind of relationship with them, like, it's not going to go anywhere. And you're going to be depressed. You're going to get upset. But if you were to take 5 to 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes, and we're going to work on that for you as well. I'm going to start doing some of these driver orientation calls. Along with Alex. I know he does an amazing job on the technical information, but there's things that, like, I know how to get into people's heads. I hate to say it in a bad way. It's not a bad way. I have people get in my head all the time. Like, I have songs. I was listening to a song yesterday that totally changed my mood, changed my focus, changed everywhere I'm going in a good way. And sometimes we need that. But I sat down with this guy and I'm going to tell you exactly what I said to him. And I don't know if he's even on the call. If he is, he can probably say it in the chat and agree with me if I did or not. And another driver I had 3 new drivers that I spoke with. At least 2 of them were brand new. 2 of them were, it was the first or second ride, and they didn't even know who I was, which was great. Like, it was awesome to get in the car and have to explain to them that I'm not just a normal passenger. Get in the car. I actually kind of started this thing, and to see the respect and the excitement, and I really just got into talking about. I said, listen, I just want you to know, when you get started with this right now, this is different. This isn't Uber or Lyft where you just turn on your app and people will start flooding you with rides. It's just not going to happen. I said it's a different kind of game, but guess what? It's a different kind of game that you get to win in the end. Uber doesn't win in the end. Lyft doesn't win in the end. You get to win. I said, and I told him this. I said, listen, I can't stress more than anything on earth that if you don't see what's coming down the road, my job is to see where we're going to be 5 years from now. My job is to make sure that the drivers that are working with us are taken care of forever, not just while you're building the company. Because I said to the guy yesterday, and it came to me, and I had this new idea that I'm going to do, and I'm going to institute it. But at one point, I was sitting here going, you know what? When they have self-driving cars, and if you don't believe they're coming, they are. I was in a car with Darius and my friend in Las Vegas, and he pointed out that there was a driverless car going down the Las Vegas Strip. So if you don't believe driverless Ubers are coming and self-driving Lyfts are coming, you're wrong, because they're coming. And when that happens, guess what they're going to do? They're going to get rid of the drivers. They're going to drop the price a little bit. Maybe they probably won't even drop the price, but they'll get rid of the drivers, and the corporation and the shareholders will make more money. And guess what happens to those poor drivers? They have no job. They have no source of income. And do you think these companies will care? No, it's part of doing business to them. But with us, since we use blockchain and decentralized networks and everything else, at first I was sitting here going, you know what? We're going to have to go to self-driving cars too. But the great thing for our drivers is our drivers will be able to have customers if you go out and get customers. Now, if you don't have any customers, you're not going to make any money if we have to get rid of all our drivers too. But I started thinking about it yesterday, and I'm like, no, we don't have to cut the drivers out. What we do is we take those drivers, the ones that have gotten the most customers, the one that gotten the most drivers, and instead of us cutting them out, we don't have shareholders to answer to. We don't have people that we have to pay out. What we do is we take that money and we pay drivers forever. You help us build this company now, and this thing is going to be here for you forever. Like that made me so excited when I had that realization because I don't need that money to come to us. I need that money to go to people who built the company. So right now is the time for you to go, you know what? I'm going to get serious about this. I'm going to start learning how to train people. I'm going to get people on these calls at noon today. Lisa, if you can put it in our group chat. I'm sorry, at 1 o'clock Eastern, I think I have a call. 2 o'clock Eastern, I have a call. I'm going to do an overview for Revo, and she can put it in the chat. I'll see it as soon as I get done. I'll make sure I'm ready for whichever one we got to do. One of them's going to be about Revo overall on the blockchain. And do you know what time we're doing and what, Lisa? Now that
Yeah,
you've
it's actually at 2 Eastern for the live opportunity overview and 3 Eastern for the driver.
okay, cool. All right, so we'll do 2 and 3. And I'm an idiot. I should have done them at 1 and 2, but that's okay. 2 and 3 is fine. So say it again, please.
So it's going to be at
The
2
overview
o'clock.
for Revo is just an opportunity Revo, just
Yes,
broad.
at
And
2.
then 3 o'clock is going to be just for drivers.
Correct.
And I promise you, I will make those 15 minutes or less. And so what I would tell you, like between now and 2 o'clock, and Lisa, if you can put that in the chat, and the same link is what you'll be using. Um, like get as many people on these calls as you possibly can. Let me talk to them. Let me explain to them. Let me give them the vision of where Revo is going. And for drivers, we're going to start training those drivers on how to get customers. We've got some people that are doing phenomenal at it in Kansas City. We've got people that are doing it in Vegas. We've got people that are doing it in Houston. We've got people that are doing down here in Palm Beach. I'm so proud and excited about how we're growing. But I need to stress to you, if you're not getting the results you want, then it's you that's got to change. And I'm not saying that in a bad way because our pay plan works. Our drivers are doing rides. If they're doing 240 something rides in Kansas City, which that may not seem like a lot, but from a dead stop in 2 months with no advertising is pretty freaking good. And so if they're doing that in Vegas, if they're doing that in Houston, if they're doing that in Palm Beach, if they're doing that in Kansas City, and you're not, then I'm sorry, but in 2025, we got to go back to the age of accountability. If the pay plan works the same for everyone, if the app works the same for everyone, listen, if there's glitches and there's problems, everybody has those same problems. And we're working on getting them fixed. I'm going to bring James on in just a second. I know he was on here, but I'm going to have him do a little bit of an update for you because very quickly, you guys are going to have control more and more. And I haven't even brought this up to James, but I was thinking about this yesterday. Drivers are going to be able to set those rates so that you can make it. And I don't know how we can do it, but I'm sure there's an algorithm or some kind of deal that you can figure out if you want to charge $40 an hour and you want to be able to do rides for somebody that wants to take you to different locations, that you can set that pricing so you can do $40 an hour. Like, and then you're going to be able to set the pricing for yourself. Like everyone that I've sat down and really explained the pricing deal to, they don't understand the ins and outs. And some of you guys think when you got, it's funny because a lot of times people come in and I'm not one of those people that I think I have to know everything. I think I need to know the basics. I think I need to know, hey, how do I change the rates? James is going to have a whole video on this is going to do what you're going to do as soon as we're going to put it out. But I will tell you this, when I sit down and I build that relationship with people, they understand it, they get excited, and they're going to be way more motivated to do it. Because just signing someone up and saying, hell, here's our app, get on it, it's going to be like, walking up to someone in an elevator in a casino and going, hey, did you used to be a model? Do you want to be a model? And then turn around and walking off. Like I saw that happen this weekend. Somebody walked up to someone I was with, and it was funny because I was standing there and my friend was standing there, and she's beautiful and should be a model or probably was a model, and if not, should be. And this guy was standing next to me and just staring her the whole time, and I knew it. And he probably thought I was just her security or bodyguard or something, and shouldn't be with her. And he looks at her and he goes, "Oh, did you used to be a model?" And he had two friends with him. And listen, I had a decision to make at that point. I could have gotten my feelings hurt. What do you mean? You don't think she could be hanging out with me? I said, he goes, he looked straight at her and it was kind of creepy. But instead of me getting mad or saying anything ignorant or trying to start a fight or getting stupid, he said, looked at her, he goes, did you used to be a model? And I said, oh no, I used to be, but I quit a few years ago. And his friends just cracked up laughing. He didn't get the joke. He's like, I wasn't talking to you. And I'm like, yeah, I figured that. But one of the, it just made such a sense to me that That's like walking up and saying something to someone dumb in an elevator and thinking that they're going to respond to that. Like, he didn't build a relationship. He didn't make something nice and say, "Hey, where are you from? You know, that's a nice dress." Like, it was a creepy way of doing it. I think a lot of times when we're recruiting, we're talking to drivers, we're just like, "Hey, sign up, get this app, and then go figure it out." That's not how this works, and it's never going to work like that. So I would just tell you, I would get as many people on. Like, I would start with two. Make a goal between now and 2 o'clock today Eastern that you're going to get two people on the Revo overview. I'm going to talk about Revo and how it works. I'm going to talk a little bit about the blockchain, and then I will do a deal where we'll try to get them involved. And then 3 o'clock, we'll do one for the drivers and try to get them involved. Try to have two drivers on there and say, "Hey, I'm going to be on there." Don't just get people on a thing. Say, "Hey, listen, I'll be on there." So you can see my name in the chat. You'll see that I'm watching these things. And guess what, guys? Every time you hear me do this, repetition is the mother of all learning. Like my friend that I was talking about, like she is from Brazil and her English is better than mine. I'm telling you, she doesn't believe it, but I know it's because she was motivated. She spent time at it. Like I tried to learn Spanish and I did Duolingo and I would do it for 3 weeks consistently and then stop. And guess what? I don't know much Spanish. I know a little bit. I'm getting a little bit better. But if I were to bury myself in it and immerse myself in it, like I'm sure like Luana has, it would be amazing because I would really progress faster. And that's what I'm telling you guys. Every time you have the opportunity to listen to us do one of the calls, I'm not saying you need to listen to it because I need you to. It's not for me. I'm telling you, you need to learn this stuff. So, what I want to do real quick, we have another call in a couple minutes. I got to be on with James, and this is a very vital, important call for you guys. James, if you can come on just for a second, do you mind? If you're still here, there he is.
Yes.
You want to give us a little bit of update where we're at and how we're going to get moving?
Yes, absolutely. Can everyone see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, so let me give you an update on driver rate pricing. On the left side, you'll see the driver app, and this is the configuration for that rate pricing. So if you go to driver rate, you'll see the ability to change your rates. You can also do testing of rates. So you can, everyone's familiar with, where you're typically dropping people off. You can do analysis of that to kind of see where you're at with your pricing. So if I go here and I'm just going to type in twisted.
Is this going to be hitting us on pricing every time we do this or no?
Yes, but there's going to be limits on this as well.
Okay.
So this can kind of give you an estimate based on your current settings. This is what you'll be estimated earnings based on this test rate scenario. So
this is that. Let me ask you this: is that that's what they would be making on the 70%?
Yeah. We'll deal with that for now. So you'll notice is all these prices are all dynamic, so you can change the rate and pricing, and it's all reflective of that. You see, you have the ability to do surge pricing, and we'll do some accelerators here. But the key thing is to see that they are reflective of your pricing. So if I want to go and update that on my profile, now as a writer, you can go in and specify. Let me go ahead and just take a route here. And this is right here. This is the Android driver. I'm going to pick one of my drivers that I'm familiar with. And you'll notice there's only one rate now. It's only that driver. So if you go and see what the rate is, you'll see that it maps to exactly what you set for the rate. For your base price, $4.51. For your per mile, $1.35. Per minute, 48 cents. Everything is dynamic. So you have full control over your business and how you want to operate. For certain locations, you can obviously set certain things like surge based on date and time. So this is how you operate and make your adjustments. We're going to set parameters around the low and the high. So you're not going to be able to go crazy, but you're going to have the ability to fluctuate your pricing. So you're not ever having to ask us to adjust the rate because you have full control over that. And you can do analysis on that as you see fit. Then you can go and schedule the ride and then process just like you normally would. So that is a quick update. I'm planning to roll this out for testing by end of the day. I will roll out to a few drivers that are doing well in the field, and then they can start seeing how the configurations are done, and then we'll do a full rollout before the end of the week.
James,
Yes.
can I ask a question?
Sure.
No.
Okay.
How many years have
okay.
you worked with me that I told you you'd never ask if you can ask a question? Because if you would just ask a question, your question would already be answered.
All right. That's something your mentor said to you in the elevator.
Yeah, a lot of times.
Yeah. Um, so if they change the rate, will that affect rides that are booked in advance?
No, it'll
Okay, cool.
only take account for what the rate was set at the time of the reservation.
Okay, great.
All right. Also, somebody was asking if they can go and see the pricing. Like they can go to Uber and then change the price in. You can change as many times you want, right? Like you can go and look at Uber every hour, every 15 minutes, and change the pricing on your app for somebody. And I think it's a great way to show somebody. If you can sit in the car, I'm correct in saying that, right, James?
Correct.
Like you could get somebody in the car and you're recruiting, like this is where you're going to start converting other people. Maybe not the first time. I'm telling you, like I know some people are going, oh, every person I get in the car, I'm going to convert right then, have them cancel it. You'll probably get deactivated at some point if you do too many of those because they'll figure it out. But what about if you got somebody in the car and you said, hey, listen, I'm going to show you what this pricing would be on the way there. We got to do this right because you're already with Uber. But I want to show you if you download the app and you book this coming back, what your pricing is going to be, how much money you're going to save. You think they would be happy with that? And listen, you're showing them live in their face, this is what they charge, this is what I'm going to charge. And like we're going to annihilate our competition if you guys get this down very, very well. If you get someone in the car and like tomorrow night, we're going to do real training. We're going to teach you. I'm going to get some of you to come on live with me. James, if you want to, this other call is for our blockchain stuff, right?
Yes.
You want to jump off and do you have anything else?
No, that's it for now.
If you jump over there and I'll be over there in a few minutes.
Okay.
All right, man. Thanks. So, we're going to be doing real training at the end of this month. By tomorrow evening, we will have it set up. We are going to have a live training here in Jupiter, Florida. Most likely going to be at Twisted Tuna on the Friday night, which is whatever the date is before the 2nd. So it's going to be the 1st and 2nd of February here in Florida. And it's funny, I've had people that said, why don't we do this in Kansas City? Have you ever been to Kansas City in January? Like, I know it's beautiful and fine and everything, but if I could get you guys to come to a tropical place and have a weekend, do you think that would probably benefit a lot of you? So let's see here. February 1st and 2nd. So January 31st will be on a Friday. We're going to have a meet and greet, get together, have some snacks and food for you. I'm probably looking to do it at James's family owns a really, really nice establishment. It's a club here, and we're going to probably have it there on Friday night. Saturday morning, we'll start at 10 a.m., going to about 5. Sunday, we'll go from like 10 to 3 so you can get your flights and everything. But we're only taking the first 100 people to get registered. Now there will be a price. It costs money to do these things. You're independent contractors. You'll be able to write it off through your accountants and taxes and things like that. But I would tell you, you're going to want to be here because we're not only going to show you how to do it, we're going to practice how to do it. And then we're going to go out and do the stuff live here in this area. Some of you are going to come to Florida for those 3 days and have a bigger sales team, bigger team period of drivers and customers in the Jupiter area, the West Palm Beach area, than you have in your home area right now. And then you're going to go back and you're going to be able to take that information and that training and you're going to be able to go back to your own city and then build that city. Some of you are going to start learning how to do this in different places around the country. I am extremely excited about 2025. Like it's ridiculous how great this is going to be this year. Like 2024, I understand and go through it. Some of my staff understand, but listen, it's a beatdown when you're starting a company. It is daily. You want to just jump off a bridge sometimes but that's how it is. And the great thing about it is I've been through enough times that I understand it. And I can probably try to coach people through it better than a lot of people can. But what I do know now is I understand how business cycles. And I understand that now We have an app that works. Is it perfect? Nope. But it's going to get better and better and better and better every day. I was telling somebody the other day that, you know, people get upset that our app glitches. I was trying to book a flight on JetBlue and the thing kept messing up. Like, one of the things I would tell some of your drivers now is like, when I got in the car with a couple of drivers, if they lose connectivity at all, and James is working on a fix for that, and it goes blank or it does anything, they've got to kill the app and go back into it. Because this driver was in, I stayed at the Cosmopolitan in a hotel in Las Vegas. And every time one of our Revo drivers came to pick me up, and I heard it from other drivers with Uber and stuff like that too, when you come underneath, you lost connectivity. You didn't get a signal because they have so much concrete and whatever. And so I could see them till they got to the hotel, and then it seemed like the ride just disappeared and was gone. Instead of freaking out, I just exited out of the app, went down, found the car because I looked at the information before. And then as soon as we took out, I told the driver, listen, kill your app. As soon as we took out of the building, everything went back to normal. We had a situation the other night where somebody took a ride and another ride had come in at the same time. There was a little bit of a glitch. It had where I was to be picked up, but it also had somebody else's name. So when I got in the car with the lady, I said, here, just kill the app, I'll kill the app. Everything synced right back up. So that's what I would tell you is we've got to start learning these things. There's troubleshooting that we can do very quickly. We're going to do some of that training started on Tuesday nights. We're going to start teaching people mindset stuff. I'm going to start teaching you how I built teams of millions of people around the world. We're going to start talking about how we're going to go into our global expansion. But I would tell you, it all starts with February 1st and 2nd. I know better than anything on the face of the earth that getting people together in a live setting is important. Now, there'll be a fee. I think it's $99 for the training. If you want to get lunch for the 2 days, it'll be another, I think, it's $125 for the training. But if you want to get lunch for 2 days added to it, it's only $150. So that's just another $25. But we'll have that up and ready to go tomorrow evening. And I would tell you, you get to come and spend 2 days with us. And you can ask anyone that's been to one of our live trainings. They love it. They go out of there with a whole renewed sense of, hey, I understand this. You get to build relationships. I know a lot of the people that you see, Lon and Alex and Rodney and all these people that know each other for years, is because they've come to these events. They've gotten to be around each other. They've not only built a business, they built friendships that'll be lifelong. So this thing is coming, guys. This is the train. I was like, I used to say that, you know, we were building a train. We were putting the pieces in, like the Lego thing. If you saw what I built last week, that took a couple hours. Well, me, for an 8-year-old, it took 4 minutes, but it took me a couple hours to build a Lego. Can you imagine if, like, 4 minutes in, people go, oh, this sucks. This not going to work. You can't. Building a Lego, it should take you 30 seconds. We're building a multi-trillion billion-dollar industry that is going to benefit so many people. Like, it's going to take a tiny bit of time. It's going to, I mean, listen, we're less than a year in. We're doing over 500 rides a month. I bet you this month we almost triple that. We're going to start giving the ability, once James has the pricing in this week, we're going to start contacting all these drivers all over the place. You're going to be able to get drivers in, and they're going to pay a $25 sign-up fee, because I don't want somebody coming in and just going, oh, I'm just here. They're going to pay a $25 sign-up fee. That's going to help go towards their insurance costs. That's going to go towards their background check. And then we're going to be able to activate them within 48 hours if they get us all their information, and they're going to be able to start doing rides right away. How many think that's going to be a better way of doing this than having to wait? And it's funny because in the beginning, I told people, guys, you're going to wait. Like, it's going to take time. It's going to be a process. Now we can go from 0 to 1,000 miles an hour in a matter of the next 60 days if you guys want to. But I'm going to need some of you to really, really, really get serious about teaching people the right way. Don't just get them in and leave them. Like, if you're not going to spend time and talking to someone and helping cultivate a driver, then please don't recruit a driver. Because I don't need that. I don't need a bad taste in the mouth because you aren't responsible enough to say, hey, I'm going to make money off of this person doing rides for the rest of their life. I should probably spend some time with them. Like I told it, I'll leave you with this story real quick because I got to jump on this other call. But there's a guy named Adonis in our company, and he picked me up, and he's helping out in Vegas and out in Fort Irwin. And he's funny because he's one of those guys that's really aggressive and like going after it a lot like I was when I was younger. And I still am to a certain extent. But I learned to maybe knock off the rough edges a little bit here and there. But he was accepted to become a Green Beret. He accepted to go into Special Forces. And he said he's lived for that his whole life and wanted to do that forever. But because of being involved with REVO and some other life circumstances. He has a new daughter, and he started evaluating, like, man, is that really the path I want to take? Because I'm going to go in there. And I said, well, listen, how long is it going to take or whatever? And he said, like 6 years. He's going to be on contracts. He's going to be dedicated, blah, blah, blah. And I said, listen, I appreciate the fact that you're even willing to sacrifice and do those kind of things. Like, I think that is amazing. I would never be one to try to talk you out of that. So I will support you, whatever you do. I appreciate your service to our country. And if that's what your goal in life is, do what is going to make you happy and is going to be best for you and your family. I would tell somebody that no matter what. I'm not selfish. Revo's going to go with or without anybody. It'll go without me at some point. So I was very understanding. Yesterday morning, I had a conversation. He told me, he goes, listen, if I decide not to go, I'm going to expect you to teach me everything you know. And I said, that'd probably take about 5 minutes, kind of a little joke. And I said, listen, he called me yesterday morning. I was in the airport, and it honestly made me a little bit emotional because I said, have you decided what you're doing? I mean, have you had a chat with your wife? He goes, yeah, we decided. We're going to have a meeting today to find out what we're doing. My wife and I are going to sit down and, kind of gauge out what we're going to do for the next, 60 to 90 days. And I said, well, that's awesome. So you'll go to but I honestly thought he had accepted that he was going to go. And I was like, 100%, like I said, I was going to support him. And I said, so when do you leave? When he goes, oh, I'm not leaving. I'm not going. And I said, oh, and something switched in my head right then. I was like, that's it. Like, I'm going to take the time. I spent almost an hour on the phone with him, talking him through how to deal with people, how to build a relationship. I said, I'm going to teach you personality levels because I take it dead ass serious that he gave up his dream of going into the military to do that, to do something for his family. And I said, within 6 months, if you're not making $50,000 to $100,000 a month, I have not trained you the right way. I haven't taught you how to take a person and take them from point A to point B where they're doing 50 to 60 rides. I talked to one of the guys the other day. He's doing 20 to 30 rides a day. I'm like, can you imagine if I can help that gentleman where he's making more money doing rides with us and doing the same amount of rides, but also adding on maybe 2 customers a week, maybe 5 customers a week. As he gets better at bringing customers in. He gets better at bringing drivers in. He understands our blockchain technology. He understands our tokenology that's going to come in, all the things that we're going to do. And so my life has now gone from being a tech supervisor, trying to help James and go along with him and get that stuff done, to doing what I am passionate about. I'm going to do a world tour, REVO road tour for probably 2 months. I'm thinking about starting in February. It may not be every day, but getting on the road and living out of my car and not just living out of my car. I'm going to have it souped up a little bit so I'm comfortable, but having my son go on video and do live videos and having testimonials. And now is the time that we get to switch from, hey guys, we're trying to work on this, we're trying to get it right, to, hey guys, it's time for you to really make money. But I don't want you to sit here 6 months from now and go, man, I'm not making it. But you, like my mentor taught me, if I want change to happen, I've got to change. If you want to keep doing the same thing over and over again, you get the same result. So between now and 2 o'clock, let's see how many people we can jam onto the REVO overview. If they're drivers, I probably wouldn't put them on that call. But if you have people that want to find out about the business opportunity, I can explain how we're going to have driver pricing. I'll have some examples how they can start helping us recruit in cities, because it's going to be phenomenal. We're going to be bringing people in that have never driven before. That's what I look at. Like, I know a lot of times you get drivers in and they're very cynical, or they're very judgmental. Oh, this isn't going to be right. Companies, all they do is screw you. Like, I heard a term a long time ago. It's easier to give birth than to resurrect the dead. Uber has people that are becoming new drivers all the time. Don't you think that a new driver would be easier to deal with? Somebody that's excited, motivated. They don't have this jaded mentality that they got beat up and that they're trying to get ripped off all the time. It's easier to take that person and say, listen, this will be an opportunity for you to build a real business, because they could build the business, have favorite drivers, have customers that come to them every single day and go out. So we're going to use the same link. It'll be the same link. Every time we do anything with REVO, we use this link. So I see some of the questions. I'm going to let you guys go. I got to jump on another call to get some work things ready for you. But if you can't tell, I am ready to roll. I'm going to be in your cities. I'm going to be in your head. I'm going to be on your screens. You're going to get sick of me. So we will talk soon. Have a great day. And I'll